The government should not be telling women what to do with their bodies.
So this was fascinating, and I'll get to abortion in just a moment, but I disagreed with almost everything she said in this interview. I will say it was one of her better interviews when it came to style. She's on a show whose audience is mainly women. You just saw it. She brought up abortion again and again and again. Even when she was given low-hanging fruit, she was asked about January 6th and 91 indictments against Trump. She pivoted right back to abortion because she knows what is true, which is the GOP has lost every single abortion ballot initiative post-Roe, every single one.
It's like it's upside down world where Trump spokesperson Kayleigh McEnany praises Kamala Harris for making great points on how Republicans think they should control women. But since political talking heads can't concede that the vast majority of Americans simply don't agree with restrictive policies based on some people's interpretation of their religion, McEnany had to act like the vice president was effective in her messaging, but not in the debate. And if nothing else, she illustrated just how hollow, insincere, and manufactured their approach to representing their constituents really is.
This is why I've implored the GOP, as someone who is pro-life myself and adamantly so, speak from a place of compassion, which I've been watching Governor Ron DeSantis. He talks about hearing his daughter's heartbeat. And not only that, speak to be pro-mother, not just pro-baby, pro-mother. And Governor DeSantis, his last interview, he said, I made child care products tax-free in the state of Florida. I am going to be an advocate for maternal health care. We as a party must do that because what Kamala is doing, right or wrong, is very powerful among young women.
And if her disconnected strategy wasn't illustrative enough of her flippant dismissal of women, they've got many men in office that also find a way to offend both women and the people that they think they're appealing to.
What I could tell you is, like, for every Karen we lose, there's a Julio and a Jamal ready to sign up for the MAGA movement, and that bodes well for our ability to be more diverse and to be more durable.
Again, the former president's press secretary is trying to focus in on how Vice President Harris is speaking to women, but not what she said and what they are saying. All while the unearned confidence of her boss has them gloating about the very thing that their party is losing on. Somebody should tell him.
Do you believe in punishment for abortion? Yes or no, as a principle?
The answer is that there has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah, there has to be some form.
For 54 years, they were trying to get Roe v. Wade terminated, and I did it, and I'm proud to have done it. They wanted to get it back, right? You wouldn't have that. There would be no question. Nobody else was going to get that done but me. Yeah. And we did it, and we did something that was a miracle.
What makes these comparisons even more stark is that conservatives know the reality of how complex and important these personal decisions really are. And if the information is right there in front of them, voters have no other choice but to believe that they simply don't care. Take Republican Nancy Mace, for instance. She's not going to get very far in this party with these kinds of nuanced thoughts.
We're losing the fight on abortion every single day. We all know that being pro-life, and I am pro-life, is the compassionate way forward, is the compassionate policy. But we're losing the fight because we're not being compassionate to women. We are throwing it back in their face. And you look at the Texas ruling, that is a very emotional ruling. Most women, the vast majority of women, agree with the woman whose baby had trisomy 18, that she should have the option to make that decision, not the state, not bureaucrats on a panel in Texas to decide what she should do, because that's a very intimate and very painful decision for a woman. We can't even talk about contraception. I mean, I can't even talk about birth control. And if you want to be serious about reducing the number of abortions in this country, we have to have a conversation about how women can have greater access to birth control. And you know, people say, well, that's not really a thing. Well, in my home state of South Carolina, we have 14 states in the entire state that don't have a single OBGYN doctor. How are they supposed to get access?
14 counties?
14 counties.
Yeah.
How are they supposed to get access to birth control?
Thoughtfulness definitely won't get you in good graces of Donald Trump. He only likes anger, opposition, and accidentally revealing that you only see humans as bodies to be placed in a factory to build corporations' wealth.
They want to bring in as many illegal aliens as possible, give them amnesty so they can fill jobs in America. And then they talked about that we have a population growth problem in the United States. They were talking about the real issue of it being the lowest population growth and why this is a problem. Well, I think we can all say that if maybe, perhaps, 63 million people weren't murdered in the womb, we wouldn't have a population growth problem, would we? That's not women's reproductive rights. That's called abortion. It's called murder.
Every day we see Representative Green, it looks like her entire existence is a mixture of ignorance, hatred, self-righteousness. You know, she thinks that tossing out wild conclusions about the people trying to protect women's rights, that's a winning argument. But Republicans wouldn't have to meticulously pack the Supreme Court and hide anti-choice policies into random bills if they had the support of the people that they hate to represent.
And these policies are so unpopular that they are now hiding them in education bills, like the ones that they're bringing to the floor this week, as nearly 36 of our House Republican colleagues are now trying to walk back their support for national abortion bans. But the American people are not fooled. Do not be fooled by these bills. Our reproductive rights are under attack. And these two bills are part of that attempt to gut the rights of women. And that is why I will not only be voting no, but hell no to these bills. I yield back.